This is the Altitude Daily Podcast. Everything you can't miss from today on Altitude Sports Radio. Mosher, Lombardi, and Kane.
But what does LeBron do better than most athletes? And the reason he's still playing at this level at the age of 40.
Well, he trains well. I mean,
he takes care of his body.
Yeah, he's in perfect shape.
So do you think, even through osmosis, that Luka Doncic is going to get better at doing exactly that? Just playing alongside LeBron James? He is.
He has to.
He's going to get better at that. He's going to get better. He's going to look better. This is a wake-up call for him. It's a wake-up call. At the end of the day, not opening this up to 28 other teams and saying, all right, Luka is on.
Give us your best deal.
Exactly. Luka's out there. Anybody want him? What do you got? You mean to tell me they couldn't beat the Lakers' offer? I could think of 20 other teams that could beat it right
100%.
now.
I think the
100%.
Nuggets could have beat it.
I'm not going to be disrespectful. Is this going to be disrespectful if I say this? If the Denver Nuggets were presented the opportunity for Luka Doncic, they'd give up everybody outside of Joker right
Absolutely,
now.
they would. And that's not disrespectful. The Luka's he's a generational player.
I'm asking you, Nuggets fans. If you're given the opportunity for Luka Doncic, and the Nuggets don't have much of a trade opportunity because if they can't trade certain players, they're stuck. They're stuck. But if all things considered equal, they'd give up everybody outside of Nikola Jokic for Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Why didn't the Mavericks? They've done themselves a great disservice. A great disservice.
You don't think that, Oklahoma City's loaded with like 800 first-round picks and plenty of talent on that roster.
Blows my mind.
You don't think the Oklahoma City Thunder would look and say, we got two centers right now. We play good. Maybe we give up Chet and 3 firsts. Maybe we give up.
Yeah.
There's so many players on that roster they could give up. I could go down the line and give you a better package than. I'm not trying to dismiss AD. AD's a Hall of Fame player, but he's going to be 32 years old, and he's got a history of injury, and you don't know what his future is.
He's 32 going on 45.
Exactly. Did you see what Mavericks fans did yesterday? They laid out a memorial as if Luka died.
They had a fake casket.
They turned in their jerseys. Let me tell you something. If the Nuggets traded Nikola Jokic today, you would get the exact same reaction.
Dude, you would get, I'm not kidding, you would get people who just said, I'm done.
I'm done.
You would.
I'm going to tell you right now, if the Nuggets traded Nikola Jokic, I'd be done.
Yeah.
I wasn't coming to do radio. I'm not joking. I'm going to tell you right, I'm going to look into this camera. If you think that, Nuggets, if you tried to pull that stunt, we're done. Just shut the radio show off. Shut it off. Turn it off. I ain't happening.
The Altitude Daily. The Morning Sprint.
Luka Doncic does not scare me as a yeah.
What?
Regular season merchant, buddy. Has Luka Doncic been
regular season merchant? Did you watch? Hold on, stop right there.
Has Luka Doncic ever
Coach,
been a thorn
right
in
there.
the Nikola Jokic-led Denver Nuggets? Has it ever been a thorn in the side?
Did you watch
know
a
who's the
single
thorn in the
minute
side?
of the playoffs last year?
Edwards.
Did you watch
Edwards
a single
is.
minute of the playoffs last year?
Yeah, I did watch
Luka
the playoffs.
Doncic is the reason why the Dallas Mavericks were in the final. He is the reason why they were in the final.
I don't know,
And
man.
you're telling me you're not scared of that player?
Not with the
Where
head-to-head
did
of the
Denver
Nuggets.
go last year? Where'd they go last year?
The
They
head-
get to the Western Conference Final?
No.
So if it's all about wins and
because
getting,
guess
oh my God.
guess who's the thorn in the side of the Denver Nuggets, Raj?
What?
Not Luka Doncic. It's the Minnesota Timberwolves and Ant Edwards and all of their role players. That's who's been
The disrespect. The disrespect is unbelievable.
all right. I just think
Why? Because he's a little pudgy?
I
Did he
don't-
have a pudgy superstar?
I don't think that Luka Doncic will ever win a championship in his career.
The Morning Sprint.
I think that Chip Kelly is a good mixture of what is pro football run game, but with a background in tempo offenses that allow a quarterback to be athletic. And you know who I think is going to be the perfect fit for all of this? Shedeur Sanders.
So it's a
Period.
greater
Point
chance now that Shedeur is in Vegas than it was prior to the weekend.
100%. Outside the box hire at the offensive coordinator
It's
position.
a good fit for Chip. Is it a good fit for Shedeur?
Chip with Shedeur?
it's a good fit for Chip Kelly to have a quarterback like Shedeur,
Yes.
a guy with his tools.
Yes.
Is it a good fit for Shedeur to be with Chip? Because those are
Yes, it
different.
is.
Those are different conversations.
It's very good. It's a very good fit. As a Broncos follower, I don't root for this, but as a football fan and
a buff
and a fan of Shedeur Sanders' game, I would be a big fan of that for Shedeur Sanders' future. I'm not a big fan, for whatever reason, of Shedeur Sanders in Tennessee Titans land, in New York Giants, or in Cleveland. I think that will be not an ideal situation.
The Altitude Daily. Columbus, Hastings, and DMAC.
And I'm 40? And you say we don't have a 5? Where are we going with this thing?
But at the same time, and maybe there's a case to be made that he had a better chance with Anthony Davis than he does with Luka, but a lot of people might argue the opposite of that, right? And I don't think that LeBron is going to be thrilled about the trade simply because it's clear that he's not the guy anymore. But if you were able to take that away, you could sell it to him like, hey, man, this is going to give you the most interesting, this will be the best chance you've got to win another championship before you retire.
Really?
See, I think the Lakers was wise by them because LeBron, even though he's doing stuff at 40, no one could think he'd do. He's still not the same guy. If you watch him play, he's still not the same guy he was, and that's okay. He's 40 years old,
Of course.
but he's not the future of the Lakers. And the Lakers saw a chance to get the future and not have a giant dip. We aren't in the rebuild mold. So now when LeBron hangs it up, whether it's this year or next, guess what we got? We got the future here. We traded for the future. Anthony Davis at 35, he's not the future. So you get a chance to bring a guy who's, what do you say, just turned 26 or will turn 26.
Sometime this month, yeah.
You jumped at that trade. It's a wise trade by the Lakers.
Okay.
And you know what? They'll still be at the very worst, probably in a play-in. You know, they'll get into the postseason, and yet you've got your future taken care of.
Luka, when do you turn 26, my man? February 28th. So at the end of this month, he'll be 26. Okay. What does this do for the Nuggets? Where should the Nuggets' head be with all of this that happened?
I told KJ a while ago, and it just hit me today. And I know there's been some ups and downs, and he came in and gave us some numbers and stuff like that as far as wins in January, February, which I think Denver can get right back where they were the last couple of years. This, to me, is feeling like 22-23. I'll explain why. I think they go through they're going through a family that's been around a lot together, and they're just tired of seeing your face every day. You know, and you can either do one thing, implode the team, blow it up, and start all over, or let it kind of wear itself through, wear it too thin, and go, you know what, I realize playing with my brother right here is a heck of a lot better than going to Charlotte and playing with LaMelo Ball or whatever it might be.
Right.
So I think they'll turn that around.
The Altitude Daily. Kreckman and Lindahl.
Hit me with the spice, Sandy.
The spice is Cooper Kupp put up a lengthy post basically saying goodbye to L.A., how much I've enjoyed it, but I've been informed by the Rams that I will be traded. They're going to work with me to find the right situation for me and my family. All the insiders picked up on the post, quote tweeted it, all that kind of stuff. But the bottom line is Cooper Kupp, as some kind of wondered about, is officially up for trade for the moment if you'd like to acquire him. Now, you looked at the contract. You think he may get released and more likely than you don't like the contract necessarily.
It's a lot to absorb if you're trading for Cooper Kupp. I don't think anyone's going to want to pay him.
Well, is that where you give him a better pick and they take the money?
What he's
Kind of like we did with Vaughn.
Yeah.
We'll eat the 20. You give us a second rounder.
Could be a situation similar to that.
But the bottom line is, here's another veteran wide receiver that knows a little something about getting open. Is that something the Broncos should look into?
I don't think Denver's a good fit on the surface for this. And I just mean it in this way. I'm not saying Sean Payton couldn't get good productivity out of Cooper Kupp. I think he could. It feels to me like Kupp's the kind of guy that would go to a team that is like contend now.
Sure.
I don't think the Broncos are contenders. I think the Broncos are improving, and I think that they're going to once again be challenging for a playoff spot next year. I mean, if I'm Kupp, I want to go somewhere where I'm pretty confident I'm going to an AFC or NFC championship game, and I don't think Denver's that team yet.
The Bills need him.
Buffalo, perfect,
That's a spot.
perfect example of the kind of place where he could go right now. Baltimore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good call, both of them.
He'll probably end up in Kansas City.
For
Let's be
goodness
honest.
sake, Cincinnati, if
Right.
you get rid of T. Higgins.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Those
One of these quarterbacks to stare down Mahomes.
Right, exactly. Those are the kind of places where I could see Kupp being a good fit at the age of, this is age 32 season coming up right here. And he's had a hard time staying on the field in the last couple of years. He has played 9, 12, and 12 games respectively over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, you just don't, with the Broncos still fighting the back half of the Russ cap hit.
Yeah.
Some other things they've done with some contracts.
Young
You
talent.
can't be taking a chance on that.
You want to go with the young talent here in Denver, I would say is the way to go. Or in the very least, stay with a guy like Cortland Sutton, who you already have inside the building. So, number one, I don't necessarily see Kupp as a great fit for what the Broncos are at the moment, and I can't imagine Kupp would be dying to be here.
Sure.
Yeah,
Now, these are two organizations, though, that do have a little bit of a history together. Remember, George Payton did work with Snead to get the Vaughn deal done.
That's true.
But to your point, I just don't know. Sean Payton needs a young joker more than he needs an old
reliable
joker receiver. If you were to do the Kupp deal, then that would signal to me you're probably not long-term planning on anything with Cortland Sutton. When he kind of be a one-for-one swap, and Sutton stayed healthier more recently. And look, Sutton's Bo's guy. You'd probably work to keep Sutton around before acquiring a Kupp, wouldn't you?
I would think so. Detroit?
Sure, why not?
They could use
Did
another
Kupp
weapon.
cross paths with Jared Goff before he was traded? I think he did, right?
Played with Jared Goff before.
So there's some chemistry there.
Can play indoors. Doesn't have to, creaky old knees. Get a chance to play inside for a while. Yeah, that could be good for him. I could see Detroit. But yeah, that to me, this sort of screams the veteran. I think Cooper Kupp's got one or two more decent playoff runs in him. I don't think he's a guy that's going to help you terribly for 17 games. At this advanced stage of his NFL career. Really good player, though. Really good player. Yeah.